All right, for time's sake, as we go into 8.7, I am going to skip some of the verbiage that it talks about. Because I think you can do the problems without that verbiage, and I don't want to make this any worse than it has to be. So we're going to skip the whole top part, okay? What you need to know really starts down here. We're going to set up equations, and we're going to solve equations. And when you solve or put a percent into an equation, you always have to change it to a decimal first. That's the big thing that you have to know. And then here, you have to remember, and we've talked about this before, that whenever you see the equals, that's where your is. So those two are the same. And wherever you see your of, that's where you put your multiply or your times. So is equals, of is times. And if you can remember that, you can do these problems. So please just remember that. I think this is going to make it easier for you. So let's go ahead and let's do some of the examples. So what is? Well, what is what we're looking for? So we're going to put an X. Is where your equal sign goes. Now, 60%, like it says, you can't put 60 in here. You must change it to a decimal first by moving it 2 places to the left. So that would be 0.60. Of means multiply by 75. So what is 0.60, not the 60, but you have to change it to a decimal, times 75. So you can see in this problem, you literally just have to multiply, and you get to use your calculator, 0.6 times 75. And if you do that, you are going to get 45. And that's the answer. 45 is 60% of 75. That's all there is to it. All right, so for B, let's translate this into an equation. 12 is, that's your equals, X percent, because it's what percent, times 40. Now there is a twist with this one. So first of all, these are being multiplied. We need to get the X alone, which means we're going to divide both sides by 40. These will cancel, so this is just old-fashioned solving your equations. So X is equal to, let's take 12 and divide it by 40, and you can see that I get 0.3. Now, here's the twist. Whenever you are looking for the percent, and only looking for the percent, so it will say what percent, when you find your answer, you have to go ahead and change it to a percent, because when you found an answer, you found a decimal. You didn't find a percent. So it's going to be X is equal to 30%. So 12 is 30% of 40. You only have to do that when you're looking at the percent. Look at this one. 60 is what percent? So I'm looking for the percent here. So 60 is X percent times 25. Because remember, of means multiplication. How do I get the X alone? I'm going to divide both sides by 25. These will cancel. X is equal to, now you can pause this at any time. You should be doing these in your calculator too. I'm going to divide 60 by 25, and I get 2.4. But again, I'm looking for the percent. So in my final answer, I have to move my decimal 2 places to the right, and I end up with 240%. All right, let's look at D. This one says find 15% of 70. And your first thought is, well, wait a minute, where's the is? Well, sometimes they're stated this way. But if I wrote it as what is 15% of 70, wouldn't that mean exactly the same thing? That's really what they're asking. So what, so that's your x, is 15%. Now you can't plug the 15 into there. You've got to do 0.15 times 70. So notice your x is already alone, so it's just a multiplication problem. So go ahead in your calculators and multiply 0.15 times 70, and you're going to get 10.5. And that is your answer because you're not looking for percent, you're just looking for the number. You're given the percent. All right, so what you want to do when you get to problems like 2 through 4 is you want to read the story problem carefully and then kind of rewrite it and make it look like one of these sentences. So look, Alex earned 180 points out of 250 on his algebra final. What percentage? So notice we're looking for the percentage of the total points did he earn. So since I'm looking for the percentage, I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to write a problem like that because in this one I was also looking for the percentage. So it's really asking 180 is what percent of 250? That's really what it's asking. So 180 is equals X percent of 250. Of means multiply. So to get the X alone here, we have to divide both sides by 250. These will cancel. X is going to equal, take out your calculators and do 180 divided by 250. And you get 0.72. Now again, we're looking for the percentage here. This is not the percentage. To get your final percentage answer, you must move the decimal over 2 places. So that is 72%. Does that make sense? That he got a 72% on his exam if he got 180 points out of 250? Absolutely. Let's look at number 3. Al's bill for dinner was $28.75. How much should he leave for an 18% tip? Round the answer to the nearest cent. Now notice it doesn't say estimate. We were estimating before. It says find the actual amount. So I'm given the percent, so I'm not looking for the percent anymore. So let's see if we can rewrite this in a sentence that kind of looks like this. So isn't it really asking what is 18% of 28.75? That's really what it wants to know. What is 18% of 28.75? Well, X equals, now remember 18%, we have to make it at 0.18 times 28.75. So again, the X is alone, so this is just a multiplication problem, so let's plug it into our calculator. So it's 0.18 times 28.75, and you get that. Now it says round to the nearest cent. So look, the nearest cent would be the hundredths place. So if I underline that 7, I go 1 to the right. What does the 5 do to the 7? It makes it go up to an 8. So it would be $5.18. Just so you understand. So let me write that. So again, round to the nearest cent. Look 1 to the right. That 5 makes that into an 8. So it's $5.18. That's how you round to the nearest cent. The nearest cent is going to be 2 places past the decimal, or the hundredths place. All right, let's do this last problem here. So Jackson plans to stay at a Holiday Inn Express Saturday night and Sunday night. The price for Saturday night is $180, but goes down 15% for his Sunday night. How much will Jackson pay for Sunday night? So this is actually a two-step problem. The first thing we want to know is what is 15% of $180. And when we do this problem, we're going to be finding out the discount for the second night. So how much he's going to get off. So this would be X is equal to 0.15 times 180. So if I use my calculator and do 0.15 times 180, you're going to get 27. So what we just found is the discount for the second night. He gets 15% off for that second night. The question is, how much will he pay for that second night? So then you have to take the 180 and subtract his discount. And when you do that, you're going to get 153. So he's actually going to spend $153 for Sunday night. And there you go.